Thank you for joining us. We're here in one of the most important battleground states in the U.S. election, just 14 days out from polls closing across the country. And the margins in this race are still razor thin, so neither candidate, obviously, is letting up. Kamala Harris trying to reach voters through network interviews. Donald Trump holding a rally in North Carolina, one of 7 key swing states. Now, each one of those states still up for grabs, and each one critical to forming a path to the White House, including this one, Georgia, where aggregate polls show Trump is up by just 1.7%. Paul Hunter spoke with some voters here among the record number who've already cast their ballot in this incredibly tight race.
Just 2 weeks to go, and in downtown Atlanta, nestled in the key battleground state of Georgia, voters know who they want.
Kamala.
Why?
She shares my views, and I feel like she's honest and has integrity.
What do you like about her?
Everything.
And as you might guess, they know who they do not want.
Donald Trump.
Why?
Oh, no. I was...
Pensive. Health officials in Lebanon say that's...
Okay. I've thrown a huge wrench into the operation here, but we'll get back.
Sling City that helped her. What happened? In 15 days, to reach voters, 7 key one. Paul Hallett.
Oh, and in who they...
And I feel like
Everything. He couldn't think of a single thing, so then he just said everything, which is what I was going to say before I fucked up the whole fucking stream. But yeah.
And as you might guess, they know who they do not want.
Donald Trump.
Why?
Because the thing that he said made people get crazy.
It's an infection that needs to go away.
Everything that Trump has done, the guy's a criminal. He wants to be a dictator on his first day.
But keep in mind, plenty of Americans see Trump differently. Statewide polls now put Trump slightly ahead in Georgia, though like the country broadly, the whole thing is effectively a toss-up. In Wisconsin, another state in play, early in-person voting is now underway as well. Lost on no one is that the time to get this done is now short. In Miami, pushing for Latino votes while touting the economy during his time in office, Trump slammed Harris.
She's slow, low IQ. We don't need another low IQ person. We had one for 4 years. We don't need another one.
We had one for 4 years. His name was Donald Trump. Joe Biden.
As if in response to that, in Wisconsin, rallying for Harris, Barack Obama.
Wisconsin, we do not need to see what an older, loonier Donald Trump looks like with no guardrails. America's ready to turn the page.
Harris, meanwhile, pushed.
Let me be clear. We do not need another low IQ president.
Her economic plan on the Spanish-language network Telemundo.
He looks away from
Later, sitting down with NBC
last
News.
election.
Did she speak Spanish? It didn't show her speak Spanish. That would have been interesting. Can Trump speak Spanish? I would love to hear Trump speak Spanish. I assume being a district attorney in California, I assume that she picked up Spanish. She lived in Montreal for a little bit. I wonder if she speaks French.
She talked about the potential threat to America posed by Trump.
This was a person, Donald Trump, who tried to undo a free and fair election. This is a serious matter. The American people are, at this point, 2 weeks out, being presented.
It looks like, I'm going to be very superficial here for a second, but it looks like she's almost like intentionally aged in the past little while. They've made her look older. I don't know. I mean, she just turned 60, but yeah, I don't know. She just looks a little bit more rough in the face than she did when the coconut tree speech happened.
With a very serious decision about what will be the future of our country.
And Adrian, tomorrow we'll be going to a Trump rally, meet with Trump supporters, where I suspect we'll get a very different assessment of the former president.
In any way, were you surprised by the extent to which the Harris supporters talked about Trump today?
Yeah, no, not really. It's as if they can't really believe this is happening again. That was a fair representation of what we heard today. And it reminded me of that thing you and I have talked about so often over the past few years now, which is the political divide in this country. It is real. It is deep. You're on this side.
He did the sportscaster thing. Like, we talked about it, Chris. The Sunday Night Football fucking sportscaster thing. It's just so cliche. Yeah.
For this person or that person, there's no conversation, no middle ground, Adrian. It is.
I mean, I also just don't believe that. Like, it didn't show in those interviews. Like, it seems like the people who are most politically active are probably heavily divided. But I feel like because of apathy in general, because of the spectacle, that there is a whole lot of gettable voters because they've just become so disillusioned and they don't have any other choice to make. Obviously, I think at this point, both choices are a failure. I think even like the Greens, from what I've seen from Butch Ware and other people, like a part of that campaign, and just, I don't know, the whole system, the two-party system, and just the way electoral college, if anything, like the U.S. just needs to have, it sounds so passé, but like legitimately have electoral reform. Because if they had the multiple candidates go into a runoff, or what France or Brazil have, honestly, it sounds like ridiculous, but it would change so much. The electoral college and like a 2-round system. I think the electoral college is more realistic to get rid of, but the 2-round system, I don't think that's ever going to happen in the U.S., although Georgia and a couple of other places have it. But yeah, the 2-round system, I feel, would make it so much more viable for a third party, like a actual viable third party candidate who would run to win would have a chance. But with the 2-party system, it's not a thing.
And I know you're heading to a Trump rally tomorrow. You're going to dive deeper into the Trump effect. I'll be looking at the ever-changing rules in the state because there are a lot of them. So we'll see you here tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, indeed.
Do that.